Today we are going to discuss on animal tissue. After discussing on the plant tissue, today's topic will be animal tissue. Students, if we are going to define animal tissue, there will be no kind of differences when we define plant or animal tissue. The definition will be remain same. It means we can define the tissues as animal as well as plant. Let's first of all define the animal tissue. A group of cells that unite to perform an specific function which have similar origin and structures known to be tissues or animal tissues. Now students, the animal tissues are primarily classified into following four categories. What are these? Let's see on. The first one is epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue. Second one is connective tissue. Third one is muscular tissue. And the remaining last one is nervous tissue. Yes, students, nervous tissue. Epithelial tissue, it forms the outermost protective covering of the whole body as well as our internal organs. That's why such tissues are known to be epithelial tissues. If we are going to classify the epithelial tissue, then they are further classified into following four categories. What are these? Let's see on. The first one is simple epithelial tissue or simple epithelia. Simple epithelium. It further classified into following three categories. What are these? Let's see on. The simple squamous epithelium, the simple cuboidal epithelium, simple columnar epithelium. These are the three basic classification of the simple epithelium tissue. Now, the second type of epithelial tissue is pseudo-stratified epithelium. Pseudo-stratified epithelium, and the next one is stratified epithelium. Stratified epithelium. It further also classified into three subcategories. What are these? These are also the simple stratified epithelium, the cuboidal stratified epithelium, and the columnar stratified epithelium, squamous, cuboidal, and columnar. Just like to the classification of simple epithelium, due to presence of more number and layer of cells, this kind of classification take place, because it not only changes the characteristics of the cells, as well as they also changes their functions and position in the body. Now the another type of epithelial tissue is specialized epithelium tissue. Specialized type of epithelia. It is further classified into following three categories. The first one is transitional epithelia. Transitional epithelia. The second one is neurosensory epithelia. Neurosensory epithelia. And the third one is the first one is transitional epithelia, second one is neurosensory, and the third one is pigmented epithelia. Pigmented epithelia. It contains some kinds of melanocyte proteins that provides particular type of skin color to the different part of the body. Now students, we further going to discuss on the connective tissue. There are mainly three types of connective tissues are found in our body. What are these? Let's see on connective tissue proper. Connective tissue proper. It is also known as the connective tissue proper. It further classified into following subgroups. What are these? Areolar connective tissue, it is also known as loose connective tissue. The second one is dense fibrous connective tissue. Dense fibrous, and this further classified as white fibrous and yellow fibrous connective tissue. Yellow fibrous connective tissue. Another type of connective tissue proper is a calcified connective tissue. Calcified, as its name clear that there is lots of concentration of calcium ion in such type of tissues, then this is the calcified connective tissue. Connective tissue. And the last one type of connective tissue proper, that is adipose connective tissue. Adipose connective tissue. Now students, we are going to discuss the second type of connective tissue, that is also called skeleton tissue. What is, students? The skeleton tissue that forms the framework of our body and provides the ability of movement and locomotion to the different body parts. That is skeleton connective tissue. There are two types of skeletal connective tissue. What are these? Let's see. The first one is cartilage. Cartilage. Cartilage are the soft bones-like structures that mainly present where the separation of the walls are found, as well as at the joints, to provide the softness and easy movement to our skeletal connective tissues are further classified into two types. The first one is cartilage. Cartilaginous tissues are further classified into following subtypes. What are these? These are the hyaline cartilage, hyaline cartilage. Hyaline cartilage are mainly found on the chin and hyoid region of the body. They further get fuses to form a single bone like structure. Another is the calcified cartilage. Calcified cartilage. And the next one type of cartilage is dense fibrous cartilage. Dense fibrous cartilage. Dense fibrous cartilages are further classified into two subcategories. What are these? Let's see on. Another types of dense fibrous are white elastin cartilage and yellow elastin cartilage. Yellow elastin cartilage. Now students, another type of cartilaginous tissues is dense fibrous cartilage. Dense fibrous cartilages contain two types of fibrous connective tissues. That's why they are classified as white and yellow, because in white elastin cartilaginous tissue there is concentration of the calcium ions more. That's why it appears white in color. Whereas in yellow elastin fiber there is presence of myosin protein. That's why they are comparatively more elastic and appears yellow in color. Now students, if we are talking about another type of skeletal tissue, then another type of skeletal tissue is bone. What? Bone. You all of you very well known about bones. Bones are the hard and rigid type of connective tissue that not only makes the framework of our body, but they are also responsible for the process of movement and locomotion along with the different types of muscles. Students, bones are further classified into three categories. What are these? Let's see on. These are the membrane or investing bone. Membrane or investing bone. Investing bone. The second one is cartilage or replacing bone. Cartilage or replacing bone. the third one is sesamoid bone. Sesamoid bone. We know about all of these one by one in incoming video lectures. Now students, we further going to discuss on the muscular tissue. Yes students, muscular tissue. Muscular tissues are also classified into primarily three categories on the basis of their function, nature and position in the body. What are these? We are going to know about the types of muscular tissue. There are three types of muscular tissue as I will tell you. The first one is the striated muscles. Striated muscles. Striated muscles are also known as stripped muscles. Stripped muscles. They are also known as voluntary muscles. Voluntary muscles. Why? Because they works on our desire. They are found in the limbs along with the skeleton system. That's why the voluntary muscles are also known as the skeleton muscles. Skeleton muscles. Yes student, there is lots of name, and on the basis of shape of cells, the striated muscles is also known as the unsmooth muscles. What? Unsmooth muscles. You are thinking about there is lots of names of this kind of muscles, but students, I will clear about each and every type of muscles with diagrammatic description in incoming lectures. These are also called unsmooth muscles. Why they are so called? We make clear with the help of diagram. Striated muscles. Students, these are just like the straight lines, and there the muscles fibers are also very long. That's why they are known as striated muscles. Stripped muscles, they are found as a patches inside and sighted upon our skeleton. It means bones are long bones. That's why they are called stripped muscles. Voluntary muscles, because they works on our desire. That's why called voluntary muscles. Skeleton muscles, due to sighted on the long bones of our limbs. It means leg and hands. That's why called skeleton muscles. Unsmooth, because their cell surfaces contain many kind of fibrous structures. That's why called unsmooth muscles. Now students, the second type of muscles is unstriated muscles. What is student? Unstriated. You can also call it smooth muscles, because the cells are spindle shaped and their surfaces are smooth. No kind of tendon or fibrous structures are present over them. That's why they are called unstriated or smooth muscles, and they are involuntary in function. That's why they are also known as involuntary muscles, and on the basis of the phenomena, they are also known to be unstable muscles. Now students, the another type of muscles, another and last type of muscles is cardiac muscles. Cardiac muscles. Students, this type of muscles is only found in the wall of our heart. That's why this is after the name cardia. Cardia, it is known as cardiac muscles. It is also involuntary function and they never get tired. It means from the embryonic development to the end of life, these muscles actively perform their function. If they stop to performing their function, then the cardiac failure or cardiac arrest is called, that is in common sense known as heart attack. Yes students, if the cardiac muscles stop working, then the person's life get in. The last type of primarily classified animal tissue is nervous tissue. Yes students, nervous tissue, as its name confirms that the nervous tissue are consist of the nerve cell or neurons. Lots of nerve cells and neurons along with their parts such as cell body or cyton, dendron and dendrites, ganglion and different types of nerve fibers that arises from the axon part of the neuron makes the nervous tissue of our body. Thus students, this is the classification of the animal tissue. Now let's at first go on the study of epithelial tissue, how it looks like and what kind of functions it performs in the animal's body. Then we first start with the epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue. Students, the epithelial tissues occurs on our whole body surface. It means skin, as well as they are found on the internal body organs and forms it packaging material of each and every organs of our body. They are helpful in the process of absorption, diffusion, as well as the process of secretion. That's why they have ability to bear and tear phenomena, as well as due to diffusion of the substances, they keeps the surface moist and soft. If we are taking the example of skin, then our skin has sebaceous gland and sweat glands. When the secretion of sebum, it means oil or lipid-like substances take place, then our skin become moist and soft. Likewise, when the more amount of the saltation due to the higher temperature take place, then the sweat gland of our body become active and they secrete the excess amount of electrolytes to maintain our body temperature. That also helps in maintaining our skin moist and soft. Thus students, the main function of the epithelial tissue is provides the outermost protective covering to the whole body. If we are taking the diagrammatic study of an epithelial tissue, then we find that it is one or more layer of cells that seated upon a very thin layer of membrane that is called basement membrane, and below the basement membrane there is connective tissue. There is connective tissue is present that contains the more amount of blood capillaries and nerve fiber cells. These are the connective tissue on which the basement membrane lies, and here I goes to draw a structure of the epithelial tissue. This is a very simple and common structure of epithelial tissue with single layer of cells as found on our inner layer of cheeks. The cells are uninucleated and has a very clear nucleus in them. This is the basement membrane. This is the connective tissue. These are the blood capillaries. And these are the nucleus of the epithelial cells. More about epithelial tissue and what is the important functions and the classification of the epithelial tissue we will study in coming lecture. Thanks students for joining today's lecture.